includes Deontay Wilder. And I know that you've already discussed this, but can you just put a bow on the Deontay Wilder situation? Is he still trying to get a trilogy with you? Is that still a possibility? Where do you stand in terms of your chapter with Deontay Wilder?
As I'm concerned, the chapter's done. I beat him twice. It's absolutely smashed into pieces the second time. It wasn't even a contest. They had a full year to make another fight. I agreed to about 7 dates. None of them materialised. Then the contract expired, and now he's now nothing. There's no fight between me and Deontay Wilder. But Deontay Wilder's got more on his brain than fighting, I tell you that. I think he's lost his marbles. I think Deontay Wilder is struggling mentally at the moment, physically and emotionally. Not just me looking at him from the outside, from a person who's already been there and done what he's doing. Like, obviously, the beating he took in the fight has really affected him, because he obviously thought that he couldn't lose to anybody. And then when he's been in there and been beaten like that, then it's obviously had a mental effect on him.
Do you have sympathy, or are you disappointed with? I mean, you guys had 2 great fights. The 2 great fights really, you know, that captured the attention of the boxing world, the sports world, and then for him to kind of react to the loss in the manner in which he did, has it kind of soured the experience for you, or is it?
Well, it spoiled the way that I look at him as a man. Like, to make a million excuses after a fight, after you've lost to somebody, it's unsportsmanlike conduct. If he'd have beat me in the same manner or any manner, I'd have put my hand down, shook his hand and said, fair play, I've lost to a better man on the night, good luck and God bless you. And that's the difference in men. If somebody beats me, and I've been travelling the world for 13 years to find somebody to beat me, and I haven't found him yet. If there is somebody out there to beat me, I'll shake his hand. Because if he can beat me, he's a good boxer, he's a good man. Fair play, good luck to him, God bless him. But Deontay Wilder clearly doesn't have that same mindset. And because he's lost, there's got to be X, Y, and Z reasons why he lost. And I believe it's mostly because he's got what I call a lot of arse kissers in his training camp. Everyone's afraid to upset him. So when they're all yes men, you can never get the truth. You can never get someone's honest opinion, because they're too scared of losing the job or losing their status or whatever. So it is what it is with Wilder. He's absolutely disappointed me as a man, and I feel sorry for him. And I hope he comes back and fights again, because I'd love to give him another hiding, a good hiding, an even better one than the first time. But I can't see him coming back. I think even if he does come back, I think he's finished, because Bubbles.
Wow. Those are the words of Tyson the Gypsy King Fury, and he said a mouthful. Of course, why wouldn't he? He's Tyson Fury. But he said a lot of things that I want to counter on. I think that Tyson Fury should be disappointed in him. And this is something I really didn't cover a lot. But the relationship with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, it was pretty cordial. Yeah, they talked shit and all that, and, you know, they did a lot to promote the first fight, and really half of that to promote the second fight. But they weren't really enemies. I mean, in fact, they had some sort of respect for each other. Again, they were cordial, and they were dancing partners, and they had a kind of somewhat of a pact, somewhat, okay? Whereas fighting those type of fights, and they fought twice. And when Wilder got beat, Tyson Fury kissed this man on the fucking forehead. You guys remember that? He kissed this man. He embraced this man like, hey, you know, good fight. You know what I mean? I respect you for getting in here. You know what I mean? It wasn't anything that Tyson Fury had any bad feelings towards. And at the time, Wilder looked disappointed, but he didn't seem like he was just kind of, what do you call resentful. He didn't have that resentment then. But as time went on, stories grew, narratives grew, this resentment was created, okay? And then suddenly it was exposed, like in what, November? And at that point, Tyson Fury was like, you know what? I don't have respect for you as a man. You know what I mean? I can't respect that. I mean, but what can you do? I mean, you got a person that doesn't have any proof of, you know, one fucking picture of a still shot of how a glove looked after a motherfucker punched with that glove. Right? And then all people that are so stupid they don't understand it's a fucking glove. It's going to look a certain way depending on what you punch with the motherfucker. It ain't like it's going to be a shiny cushion forever, right? When you start punching with that glove's going to give some type of indentation, some type of formation on what you punched. Depends on what you punched. Okay. Now, him saying that he looks at he doesn't respect him as a man, he's fair. Look, that's his prerogative to say that, because he couldn't take that fight like a man. You look at someone that was really cheated. Let's look at it. Let's put this in there. Remember Miguel Cotto? Everybody know Margarito fucking cheated Miguel Cotto. And we got the pictures, and the pictures was a picture where he just didn't punch a motherfucker. He had his gloves off, and then the shit was swollen. If you guys, and it had a crack in it. Okay? That was after the Cotto fight. Now, could Cotto prove that from that picture? No, he couldn't. We could all see it. And that's what they're trying to compare that to. But those are two different situations when Tyson Fury punches and how a glove looked versus when you used the motherfucker versus when the shit was totally off. Now, Cotto took it like a man. He didn't say shit. He didn't say shit until the evidence came up, because he didn't have a lot of butthurt fans trying to rewrite what happened. And that's all it really is people that cannot accept that Wilder got beat. The man has so many holes in his defense. He looks like fucking Swiss cheese, cheddar cheese. Okay? You can hit Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's defense is this: no head movement, none of that. That's his fucking defense. So you think you can't hit no one like that? He doesn't want to give credit to Fury for hurting him. He'll never admit that Fury hurt him. Okay? But he slapped them all around the ring. Now, is Deontay Wilder finished? I don't know. I don't know if he's finished or not. But the way he's going about and the quietness has came back, it does lead you to think that. Not saying that I believe he's finished, but he ain't saying shit. He ain't picked a fighter. He's talked shit last week, but then that's it. We haven't seen much of him. He's quiet down a whole lot. And when he gets quiet, that's not a good thing, because basically he talks more than he's ever put action into. Okay, as far as doing stuff, making things happen. So, hey, is he finished? I don't think he's finished. But I think he better start picking fighters to show us where he's at. Because if not, people are going to believe this anyway. And if he never fights, he just never fights. And then what Tyson Fury said will be true. And the beating he took an ass beating. And it really wasn't much of a contest. People ask me all the time, like, oh, well, what do I think about that fight? You had one guy beating the shit out of the other guy. That was it. And the other guy, Deontay, trying to justify why he didn't fight. Well, he can't fight. He can punch. I keep telling people that for the last 3 fucking years. Wilder can't fight. He can't. He can punch. That's why he hits you one punch. He's the hardest one-punch knockout artist. Why? Because he only hits you with one. He's only going to throw 1 or 2. And if he does throw combinations, his form is all off. So it's going to look like this, like a fucking basketball player trying, you know what I'm saying, trying to fight. That's what Wilder looks like. Because he hasn't practiced his form or practiced how to throw a punch. Okay? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Tyson Fury's statements. Of course, please subscribe. You guys been Counterpunch.